is Health for All, 75 Years of Improving Public Health. Dr. Makiba Brooks of Urgent Care Barbados believes there were some significant areas of development which have contributed to the quality of life.
Some of the things that stand out for me certainly would be the development of antibiotics. So that happened sometime, I think, in the 1950s. Then, of course, would have been the eradication of polio and the impact of that polio had, first of all, and then the subsequent eradication of polio. And Barbados had a huge part to play in the manufacturing and development of the oral polio vaccine. They did a lot of research using our very own green monkeys right here from Barbados. And we were able, with a collaborative effort, to actually totally eradicate polio, or work towards the eradication of polio worldwide.
Dr. Brooks believes the largest development for Barbados in the area of public health is the level of accessibility.
One of the huge things that we did a very, very long time in Barbados was to make healthcare accessible. And we did that by decentralizing healthcare. And that's why we started with polyclinics. So by bringing polyclinics, we took healthcare to the people. So taking healthcare away from one central area and actually bringing it out into persons' homes. As you all would know who've lived in Barbados for any number of years, we have an amazing vaccination program here on island, where instead, again, of waiting for persons who need to be vaccinated, and we started in childhood, waiting for them to actually access healthcare, the public health nurses would actually go out to the schools where the children are and actually meet them there. So tiny things like that, which seem tiny, give huge, huge positive effects to the overall health of the country.
The emergency health physician further believes that the COVID-19 pandemic has helped to remind several people about the importance of public health for an island like Barbados.
COVID actually opened a lot of persons' minds who may have overlooked public health and the importance of general public health for a small developing state such as ours. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, people were able to look at public health and see it for what exactly it was. It is a cornerstone. It is the thing that keeps all of us healthy. And we know that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and that's just what public health is. It's getting out to as many people, and just as the current theme for the WHO's World Health Day says, it's healthcare for all. So it's getting to everybody, all walks of life, everybody, men, women, children, it doesn't matter. And just making sure that people are of optimal health. So during COVID-19, we would have seen a really, really good mobilization of our healthcare, of our public health team, and just see how robust it actually is, because in a short number of weeks, days, months, people were able to mobilize and do fantastic things, get out, roll out a vaccination program and vaccinate thousands, tens of thousands of people across the island through many different avenues. So I think COVID-19 for me, if it's one amazing thing that it did, it gave Barbadians especially a chance to see public health working the way it actually does all the time behind the scenes, but this time it was right up front for you all to see.
Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, a criminal online marketplace has been taken down. Stay with us.
Hi, I am Jaheem Thomas, one of the team leaders of Project SOFT. Project SOFT is a very transformational program for youth who are now going into secondary school. It helps them with their team building, effective communication, decision making, and also raise awareness of drug use. For me, Project SOFT definitely impacted my life, especially as a team leader. Dealing with children every day, it was for me to honestly wonder, am I making the right decisions when I approach these children? And not only that, but are they developing as well and taking in information that they're being taught? Project SOFT also benefits those children, as I mentioned earlier. But one of the major things I have seen, especially from children coming out of Project SOFT, is the impact that it has made on them even after the program. Recently, I went to
A criminal online marketplace selling millions of stolen identities has been taken down in an international crackdown. The sting, led by the FBI and Dutch police with the involvement of law enforcement agencies across 18 countries, took Genesis Market offline on Tuesday evening. Users trying to access the site now see a page with the FBI name Operation Cookie Monster. The marketplace had 80 million sets of personal credentials available for sale, covering 2 million people. Online banking, Facebook, Amazon, PayPal, and Netflix account information were up for sale alongside so-called digital fingerprints containing data from the victims' devices.
Europe's policing agency, Europol, says more than 100 people were arrested in the operation, which spanned 17 countries. Genesis Market offered more than 2 million identities for sale, with prices ranging from 70 US cents to hundreds of dollars, depending on the nature of the stolen data.
The data offered on the so-called Genesis Market made its way to the operators of the platform through criminal acts such as ransomware attacks and malware. On the platform, cybercriminals used the data to commit acts of fraud. They attempted to commit a crime with falsified data to hide their identity. The investigation is far from over.
Jirke Boyden is a cybersecurity analyst, and he's joining us from Leicester in the UK. Very good to have you with us on Al Jazeera. First of all, do we have any idea how the website and the people behind it was able to get hold of the information in the first place?
Yes, they installed the malware on lots of computers around the world using the normal channels that malware spreads through. So people clicking on links that they shouldn't have, and things like that. The normal channels, and this malware stole credentials and other information about people's computers in a way that made it exploitable, and it actually remained resident in those computers also to operate them and gain any new information.
I want to come back to that in a second, but what could people do with this information if they bought it from the website?
Well, the most sophisticated thing that they can do is they can pretend that they're these people. In the olden days, cyber criminals would just steal passwords, but passwords by themselves are in many circumstances aren't enough anymore, because there's all sorts of other detection going on to see whether somebody is using a different computer, coming from a different place, things like that. And in order to the next stage in the arms race, if you like, is to not just steal the password, but also to steal the information about the computer that the person is operating from. So also to pretend that you're on that computer, and they actually build a Chrome extension that allows people to pretend that they're operating from the web browser of the people that they stole the data from. In order to not set off alarms by coming from a different place, having different fonts installed, and all those sort of things that can be used to pinpoint a specific computer.
Russian President Vladimir Putin told the new U.S. and EU ambassadors in blunt language on Wednesday that their countries were responsible for a dramatic deterioration in relations since Russia sent its armed forces into Ukraine last year. The ambassadors were among 17 who presented their diplomatic credentials to Putin at a televised ceremony in the Kremlin.
A seemingly very relaxed Russian President Vladimir Putin received 17 new ambassadors at the Kremlin on Wednesday, where they will receive their credentials to live and work in this country. Among them, the newly appointed U.S. Ambassador Lynn Tracy. And the Russian president took the opportunity to express his views about the relationship between the United States and Russia and where things stand. Vladimir Putin said that America's use of tools such as support for color revolutions as well as coup d'etats in Kiev have led to the current Ukrainian crisis. But still, Russia's in favor of having a relationship with the United States, but that's based on the principles of equality. He also talked about where things stand between Russia and the European Union. Let's listen to some of what he had to say.
The European Union's relations with Russia have deteriorated a lot in recent years, unfortunately. We will do everything in our power to make them work in the right way for Russia and for the economies of its member states. We hope that the logic of mutual cooperation will prevail over time.
Vladimir Putin also went on to say that he's not looking to isolate his country and that there is no hostile intentions towards anyone when it comes to Russia's foreign policy. What was noticeably absent from this 20-minute speech that he delivered at the Kremlin on Wednesday was any comments about Finland's accession to NATO, which took place on Tuesday.
Time now for us to preview what's coming up on Morning Barbados. We'll have Lion Rawl Gibson come through this morning to talk about the annual Lions Clubs of Barbados Zone Health Fair 2023. Also an upcoming U.S. Embassy skateboarding program that will be available here in Barbados. Donald Maynard, the Public Affairs Officer with the U.S. Embassy to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, will be here to share with us. Plus, we talk education leadership, and that will be through a summit. We will share with Tony Olton, who is the founder and chairman of Caribbean Institute for Social Emotional Learning. Plus, we might be doing a little bit of kite flying. We're going to take you along for that trip. And Universal Church of Kingdom of God will be in to share with us about mental health and a whole lot more. And we're going to round up today's Morning Barbados by telling you about the results of Clean Up Barbados. That's all still to come on Morning Barbados, but there's more for you on the CBC Morning Report.
Hi, I am Jaheen Thomas, one of the team leaders of Project SOLVE. Project SOLVE is a very transformational program for youth who are now going into secondary school. It helps them with their team building, effective communication, decision making, and also raise awareness of drug use. For me, Project SOLVE definitely impacted my life, especially as a team leader. Dealing with children every day, it was for me to honestly wonder, am I making the right decisions when I approach these children? And not only that, but are they developing as well and taking in information that they're being taught? Project SOLVE also benefits those children, as I mentioned earlier. But one of the major things I have seen, especially from children coming out of Project SOLVE, is the impact that it has made on them even after the program.
Welcome back to the Morning Report. More than 380 criminal cases dating back more than 10 years are still to be heard in the island's law courts. That revelation prompted a comment from the Attorney General Dale Marshall that criminal justice reform is long overdue. He was speaking at yesterday's symposium on criminal justice in Barbados. The Attorney General is indicating that they have taken other measures to enhance the process, including the increase in the number of High Court criminal judges from 5 to 8.
Despite the increase in the size of the criminal bench, the number of serious matters to be tried remain a serious concern. The statistics of matters awaiting trial received at the end of January from the Office of the DPP are instructive. Murders, 94. Manslaughter, 7. Firearm offenses, 287. Of the murder charges, the oldest relates to a homicide committed in 2007. Of the manslaughter charges, the oldest relates to a homicide committed in 2012. And of the firearms offenses, believe it or not, the oldest relates to a possession offense going back to 2003.
Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley, who delivered the feature address to the session at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre, is in agreement with. She says mission transformation for Barbados cannot come about unless the country is safe, and something has to be done to clean up the court backlog.
You cannot tell me that a court can't meet longer because the reporter can't work past 12. Then come to us and deal with it. And let us make sure that you have both enough CAT reporters, or that they are rotated sufficiently, or we use artificial intelligence. What are the systems? Right now, there's a system for us to look at screening for breast cancer that will offset the absence of sufficient radiologists. Nobody should have to rely. I don't know whether a judge writes longhand anymore in the criminal court, but if they do, I hope not. The bottom line is that we live in a real-time world.
The Prime Minister told members of the judiciary, police, legal fraternity and stakeholders that nothing should be holding the system up.
Let us change and enlarge the role of magistrates with their jurisdiction to take some of the pressure off the High Court. Let us make sure that we get these 94 murders and these 297 gun cases off of our books. Judge Birch and Graves, how long you want? You understand? 2 years, 18 months, what will it take to move this backlog off?
PM Motley also suggested that some matters could also be dealt with within the magistrates' court if their powers are enhanced. A significant investment of $100 million in Boss Plus bonds by local commercial banks is being described as a major show of confidence in the island's capital markets and the wider economy. The assessment from Central Bank Governor Dr. Kevin Greenidge, as CIBC First Caribbean Bank officially acquired the bonds during a formal signing ceremony in the governor's office at the bank yesterday. The signing was attended by senior banking officials from both the Central Bank and CIBC First Caribbean International Bank.
Perhaps on your mind is, why are we having a press conference now? The Boss bonds have been around for a while. We had Boss before, now we got Boss Plus. But why this press conference? First off, we thought you can see is quite a significant purchase. $100 million is nothing to shake your finger at. And it signifies the increased level of confidence that is now within the financial sector as it relates to the government of Barbados and Barbados in general, government Barbados' fiscal and financial position, economic position. It also, we're using this moment to start or signify to restart our efforts to restart the capital market.
Dr. Greenidge has also revealed that the investment by CIBC First Caribbean has significantly reduced what is left of the initial $200 million bond issuance, with only about $10 million still not subscribed. He is urging ordinary Barbadians to also get on board, as the bonds represent a safe investment. Managing Director for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean of CIBC First Caribbean, Donna Wellington, says the bank is pleased with the direction the island's economy is going, noting that it was a major factor in their decision to make this major investment.
We believe our bank's investment of $100 million in Boss Plus bonds, which we are signing this morning, is a strong commitment to our country, Barbados. We firmly believe, from all of the signs that we are seeing in the Barbados economy, that the Barbados economy is on a trajectory to recovery following the challenges of the past few years. Re-entering the capital markets is a strong vote of confidence in Barbados and its prospects for the future.
The Grantley Adams Memorial School is rising to new heights. Acting Principal Major Andrew Skeet notes the school has seen marked reductions in deviant behavior and improvements in technical, vocational, and academics. He made the revelation during the school's Speech Day ceremony earlier yesterday. CBC's Rhiann Phillips was there.
In total, 515 disciplinary infractions were reported in 2019. Compared to 223 in 2022.
That's Acting Principal of Grantley Adams Memorial, Major Andrew Skeet, referring to stats to illustrate the decline in reports of deviant activity at the school. He credits the improvements to several interventions, such as curriculum changes, the introduction of remedial programs, and enhanced subject offerings.
In 2019, the overall percentage pass rate across all awarding bodies was 71.2, or approximately 324 subject passes. In 2022, the overall pass rate was just about the same, but this time with 4 awarding bodies, on average 560 subject passes.
Through the school, scores of students have wet their feet in the world of work, using opportunities to hone their skills through work attachments with 29 businesses. Others have been pitching in to spruce up the school compound.
Our electrical installation students who are still with us install the conduit for conduit work, the tubes for the network cabling on the 4th form block, install conduit work for the security cameras on our livestock housing, install electrical fittings in our PE room and change electrical fittings in the laundry, and troubleshooted and repaired plugs in the home economics lab. Experiential learning at GAMS. Learning by doing. In fact, sir, we have maybe a small little maintenance department, nobody made up of schoolboys, right, and girls.
And in her feature address, Senator Patricia Parrish, who is also the CEO of the Barbados Labour Party, reflected on her school days and shared her testimony of overcoming initial disappointments at the then West St. Joseph School.
Yes, I had choices. I could have told myself, well, you failed anyway. You did not get to one of the other schools with your friends. Just drift along until your years at this school comes to an end. As I became more and more comfortable in my new school environment while making new friends, I chose the path and type of friends who wanted to be successful. As students of Grantley Adams Memorial School, like me, you are going to have obstacles along the way.
Encouraging the current crop of students to embody elements of school pride, Senator Parrish challenged students to soar, especially in the face of criticism.
You are going to be told you are not good enough. If these words are ever said to you, never believe or own them, nor should you live up to or do anything to demonstrate to the person that told you so to prove them right, prove them wrong. God made you and He made them, and you can be the best that you want to be.
As it was the school's first speech day since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, hundreds of students were recognized for their performances in academics, sports, and extracurricular activities. Rianne Phillips, CBC News.
Thanks, Rianne. Always great to hear good news about the nation's young people. As we look further afield, Trinidad and Tobago is working to improve port services and provide additional market access for its goods and services. We hear more in this effort from TTT.
According to Minister of Trade and Industry Paula Gopi-Skoon, government is working to improve the ease of doing business for local and international firms.
Cabinet has agreed, we've actually signed on, and the consultant is on board for the port connectivity system, and I'm talking about the connectivity and logistics. So this system will benefit you in terms of improved efficiency and increased transparency of port operations, enhanced security and improved data management by providing real-time information and streamlining the port processes.
Minister Gopi-Skoon said government is making a big push to pursue international market access for local goods and services.
The new commercial offices that we are soon to open in London, in Miami, and in also Panama, and also the appointment of the relative commercial officers and the soon-to-be hired deputies, also the attaches are soon to be appointed. And I say soon to be appointed, we've passed the stage of cabinet.
Noting that the non-energy manufacturers' exports have grown by 25%, the minister indicated these exports have reached more than 144 countries.
In particular, the appointments to Miami, to London and to Panama would be made by by the end of this month. Cabinet has already approved them, and that is in your interest, again, into ensuring that you have access to markets and that there are people on the ground working with your firms. That's the idea behind that.
The Trade Minister made her comments as she addressed the TNT Manufacturers Association's annual general meeting.
Further south, the Guyana Tourism Authority will be rolling out several new training programs in the hospitality industry. The training comes as the country seeks to meet the growing demands of its tourism sector. NCM has more.
Last year, over 2,000 people were trained in the industry, and the Guyana Tourism Authority is looking to surpass that number this year. Among the training targets are HSSE, mixology, sustainable tourism, accommodation operations, and the green and outdoor events. Head of GTA Cameron Bash says that tour guiding and interpretation are also very important aspects of showcasing and promoting Destination Guyana.
I want to use the platform as well to appeal to anyone who knows of a tourism product, wants to get into the profession of guiding. You can come down to us and formally register, and we can take you through the training program so that you can fine-tune your skills, so that you can be an ambassador for Destination Guyana.
Bash is also appealing to individuals to utilize the tourism packages that have been crafted for the domestic market.
We've launched within the last 2.5 years 27 new experiences across all 10 administrative regions, and just wanted to appeal to my Guyanese brothers and sisters to utilize the Easter weekend or any other weekend or any day that you're free to go and check on these new tours and experiences that we've developed. You'll be amazed to see what we have here in Guyana.
Approximately 7 new international hotel brands will be developed in Guyana over the next few years, which will provide more job opportunities and require more experience in the hospitality industry.
Let's take a look now at sports. Allerton Football Club and UWI Blackbirds had contrasting results to maintain their mid-table status in the latest fixtures of the 2023 BFA Premier League season. Playing at the BFA headquarters in Wilde, Allerton and St. Andrew Lions played out a thrilling 3-all draw for Allerton to move to 8 points, while the Lions remained second from the bottom of the standings on 3 points with 3 draws and 3 defeats. In the night's other game, UWI Blackbirds are now 7th after securing their second win of the season. CBC's Damien Best has all the details.
Tuesday night at the Turf, BFA Premier League 2023, UWI Blackbirds in yellow battling Notre Dame. Skip ahead to the 44th minute now. Zico Edmey standing over a free kick. Absolutely perfect placement. 1-1 then at the break. Second half business, switch of ends. This left a lot of question marks about the Dames' defense. How do you even give Jaron Otherson free passage into the 18-yard box, and Dames pay the ultimate price? That's 2-1 now to the Blackbirds. And the final nail in the coffin came in the 89th minute. Again, Dames failed to clear their lines effectively. Rivaldo Messiah drills this one into the bottom right corner. UWI take the 3-1 victory.
The action continues tonight with a doubleheader. Deacons up against BDF Sports Program at 7 p.m., while Britton's Hill will battle Abrams United Silver Sands at 9 o'clock. Time for a look at your weather. The barometric pressure stands at 1012.2 millibars. It's 25 degrees Celsius outside. Relative humidity stands at 81%. And the wind direction is coming out of the east at 28 kilometers per hour. Moderate in open water with northerly swells are your sea conditions from 1.5 to 2 meters. The second high tide of the day will come around 4:20 and the second low will be at 10:04. Forecast for today, sunny with cloudy periods with a few brief scattered light to moderate showers, so be sure to plan accordingly. And this evening, clear with cloudy periods and a few brief scattered light showers. Well, that's today's morning report. Our next newscast is Newsday at 12 noon right here on CBC TV 8, followed by The World at 1 via our radio services on 100.7 QFM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM. It's time now for Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Well, good morning to you. It's Thursday, April 6th already. So I must say a blessed good morning to you on this Monday, Thursday on the Christian calendar as we continue on this Holy Week. I know there are many people who are enjoying their Holy Week in a great way. If you're anything like me, you love your hymns, so you probably have been checking in on your hymns, singing along the way, going out to church, whatever is happening. Thank you for tuning in to spend a little time with us this morning on Morning Barbados. We have a great show planned for you. So again, good morning. I'm Tisha Hines, and I will be here with you for the next hour and a half or so. And we're going to have a good time because there's lots to do and see. I don't know what you're up to, but feel free to call us up and let the producers know so I can find out exactly what's going on with you. Also, let your friends and relatives down the diaspora know that they can tune in on YouTube and get a daily dose of Morning Barbados. So coming up today, we are telling you all about a skateboarding program that's coming to Barbados, being put on by the U.S. Embassy. We're going to share more. And I know there are a lot of young people these days who are into skateboarding, I should say again, because these things come in waves. So we're going to talk to you about that. A representative from the U.S. Embassy here in Barbados, he will be on to tell us more about that. Plus, Tony Olton will be in to talk to us about the 2023 Hybrid Caribbean Education Leadership Summit. Quite a mouthful, but you definitely want to stick around to hear more about that. Plus, maybe after the show yesterday, I got up to some mischief with a few of the crew from here and the producer, and we went kite flying. So you're going to get to see a little bit of that. I'll just say that it was drizzling, but we had a good time nonetheless. And we're going to be telling you about the results of Clean Up Barbados. Plus, we have Pastor Samuel Pereiro Jesus de Jesus coming through to tell us about the Universal Church of the Kingdom of God. But first, we are going to start by telling you about the annual Lions Club of Barbados Zone Health Fair 2023. And a familiar and favorite face is here to tell us more. Lion Rawl Gibson, Zone 3A chairperson. Good morning to you, Rawl.
Good morning, Tisha. Good morning, Barbados.
Oh, wonderful to have you back with us. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, I have to work on getting my yellow jacket.
You said so last time, so we really have to pull you in.
You caught me. Okay, we have to make it happen. All right, so let's talk about this. We talk a lot about non-communicable diseases and all that's happening. We see how much it's impacting the bottom line, really, when it comes to our healthcare bills, and more importantly, the health of our nation. Our most important resource, our people. So it's wonderful to see that you are really leading the charge in putting on something like this again this year, a health fair. Tell us more about it.
Yes, good morning. The health fair would have started around 2004. The first zone chairperson would have implemented this project. So it's become an annual project that the clubs, we have 9 clubs in Barbados, and we come together and highlight different aspects of health to commemorate World Health Day, which falls on April 7th, but of course it's Good Friday tomorrow. So instead of having it tomorrow, we're having it on Saturday, and we're going to be hosting it at the General Post Office on Cheapside. And thanks to the Postmaster General and her team, they've facilitated us, and we're going to be in the amphitheater, which is a very spacious spacious location for us to set up our booths. We're looking to target the persons who will be coming out to Cheapside Market on Saturday to pick up their healthy foods, their ground provisions, their fruits, their meats, and so on. And we're starting around 9 a.m. That's going to start with the opening ceremony. So if you are coming to Cheapside Market or you're not coming to Cheapside Market, I would like to maybe put in a plug for the vendors and say, come down to Cheapside Market for around 9 o'clock and then come to our health fair. It is completely free. It's totally free. And we're going to be offering a wide range of services.
Music here, Cheapside, early Saturday morning.
Yes, I was going to sing.
All
But I
right,
didn't
so
want to run the viewers.
let's delve into exactly what we can expect a little bit more, a few of the vendors or areas that you expect to cover this weekend.
Okay, well, first let me say we'll have the opening ceremony, and I just want to highlight that because we'll have our first Vice District Governor, Len, Dr. Carlisle. He'll be wearing two hats, one as a line leader and also as a leading medical practitioner within Barbados. And then we're going to have a representative from the Ministry of Health, Dr. Kimberly Phillips. And then finally, what the theme for World Health Day this year is Health for All. But we're also, the goal of the World Health Organization is to shine a spotlight on nurses. So we're going to be having a remarks from Dr. Faye Paris, who is the president of the Barbados Nursing Association. And as you know, nurses are very critical. It's nurses and midwives that we're shining a spotlight on. So they're going to be recognized. We are partnering with the American University of Barbados and they'll be assisting with student doctors. We'll be partnering with Red Cross, with Urgent Care Barbados, and they'll be doing blood pressure, blood sugar testing, cholesterol testing. We're also going to have Dr. Dawn Grosvenor. She's a leading ophthalmologist, and she'll be conducting eye tests for the public. We're also going to have vector control, persons from vector control unit, fire service, hopefully also the Barbados Police Force to speak on drug awareness, and then we'll be dealing with other aspects of health during the course of the day. So those will be the booths, but then during the course of the day, we'll have persons presenting on a number of topics, whether it's mental health, internal medicine, eye care. We know about diet, and nutrition is important. We're going to speak about healthy lifestyles, but without exercise, you need diet and you also need good exercise. And we're going to be having a theory where we'll have Dr. Rudolph Allen speak about the importance of movement, but we'll also be having some line dancing and some exercise for the patrons. Right?
Wonderful to see that you have so many people from the medical and health sector who are going to be a part of it. I was wondering, I don't know if we have any empirical data, but over the years, since you've been doing this fair, and often we hear of so many around the island, I think it would be interesting to see how many of the people who pass through these events really follow up after they get the information, or after they do the health checks, to make sure that they get the requisite care they need or change their lifestyles to suit what needs to be happening generally for them to lead healthy lives.
Agreed. Yes, so we do make notes of persons who pass through, but it is a good idea that maybe we keep a database or compile a database so that we can maybe keep in touch with them and see how they're doing, and hopefully they'll come back annually for us to measure or monitor their, let's say, blood pressure, blood sugar, or even cholesterol levels. And we do, of course, make recommendations to the persons who pass through. So while it's just testing, there are also, of course, experienced nurses on hand, both in the Lions and Leos. We have nurses and doctors, and we also have, as we say, we partner with others, and they'll give them the relevant information.
A little bit in terms of bringing it home with visuals. Let's talk a little bit about how it will be laid out as we approach Saturday. So we know how the Cheapside area is situated, where the General Post Office is. Where will you be set up on the grounds?
So if you're looking at so it's on the amphitheater. If you're looking to the east, which is right next to the Cheapside Market, we will have the majority of our layout there. So on the bottom layer, or the bottom level, we'll have our Leos and so selling baked goods and healthy drinks. And we'll also have that's where the dance sides and the line dancing will take place. As you come up these steps and you're walking straight ahead, you'll have most of either the American University of Barbados doing the testing. We'll have the vector control unit. We'll have fire service on that side of the amphitheater. I think that would be to the south side. And then to the east and the north side, we will be doing healthy lifestyles. We'll be doing testing for, again, blood sugar and blood pressure and cholesterol. So it is that top layer where the majority of the persons will, or the top level, I should say, where the majority of the booths will be held. We'll have a few tents so as to protect from the sun, because there's some parts of it that's open air. So we'll be having tents, but the majority of it will be covered by the concrete ceiling.
So you're going to get started around 9 o'clock, and
9
how
o'clock is
long
the
are you
opening
going to
ceremony.
run throughout the day?
So opening ceremony is from 9, we say about 9 to 9:30, then do a tour of the booths, and then really we'll start around, I'd say 9:45, 10 o'clock, with persons being able to access the booths, and we're going down to 3 o'clock. So during the course of the day, we will be, as I mentioned, we'll be having different persons through 15-minute slots speaking on a number or wide range of topics that impact our health, which would be the mental health, the internal medicine, etc. Pharmaceuticals, myeloma, autism, Alzheimer's. So we really want to touch on as many aspects as possible. Of course, we can't touch all, but we want to give you a good range of health tips and ideas.
I think it's also a great move to put it in that area, particularly because that's a major artery into and out of Bridgetown, especially as relates to foot traffic. So I know you will have a lot of people passing through. I'm always intrigued by the amount of work that you guys do, Lion Rawl. So tell me a little bit about what goes into putting on an event like this, an activity like this, where you're able to pull together so many medical and professional health sector individuals to be a part of this health fair.
Well, the first step, as with most things, is to form a committee, and the committee comprises of all the clubs within Barbados, and then each club in the past would have worked with a number of associations. So it's just a matter of reestablishing connections or alliances with these different sectors. For example, vector control or the fire service, we'll reach out to them, and of course, having formed a partnership or relationship, it makes it a little easier. So the way has been paved because we've been doing this from about 2004. So we've really been running this for some time, but it obviously takes a lot of effort. You still have to write a lot of letters, correspondence, and request that persons, participate. Because of the time of the year, it was a little difficult because it's Good Friday and the long weekend. So one or two of our regular players weren't able to make it this year, but we were hoping that to, of course, have it as close to the World Health Day as possible, and then, as you said, a lot of target the market vendors, persons will be supporting the market, and also the businesses within the area. We would have sent flyers to them to let them know that their staff can come down for free testing of any sort.
Right, now it's Holy Week. The Bible says, ask and it shall be given. What would be your ideal outcome? What are you hoping for most in getting people to come out this weekend to the Lions Health Fair?
I would like a steady stream of traffic and of course, persons asking questions, persons receiving literature, because we'll be giving out literature, asking as much questions as possible. And if, it's okay to hear and ask, but to act upon the advice that the healthcare professionals will be giving them. So the outcome is really for us, our desired outcome is for Barbados to become healthier. We're really trying to promote a healthier community. As you mentioned, with good health, we have hopefully better productivity, better lifestyle, longevity, and happiness. So we're really looking to have as much information given and as much information received.
What a wonderful activity to put on as we look to the observance of World Health Day this year, which is also a significant milestone, 75 years for the World Health Organization. So congratulations to you and your organization on putting this on. It would be remiss of me not to give you an opportunity to tell people who might be interested in playing a part or being a part of the Lions Club how they can do so.
Right. So with regards to the Lions Club, if you know a lion or a Leo, depending on your age. So the Leos are from 12 to 28, and lions are anywhere from 28 onward. And if you know a lion or Leo and you're interested in joining the organization, just approach them and let them invite you to one of our meetings. You get a feel for what we do and the structure of our meetings, what we have to give, and then from there we have, once you're interested and the club believes that that you are going to be a good member and you've demonstrated that you're really eager and that you're really willing to work, then we go through an orientation process, which allows you to know, the roles of the president, secretary, treasurer, district, etc. And then you're inducted into Leonism. So we actually, globally, World Induction Day is on April the 29th. We have inducted a number of members throughout the year. And of course, we're always willing to get persons who are able-bodied, who are ready to work and to serve, because that's our motto. We serve, and we're looking for as many people who want to serve the community.
The Lions and Leos clubs of Barbados staging their annual Zone Health Fair under the theme Health for All on Saturday, April 8th in commemoration of World Health Day, commencing at 9 a.m. It's at Cheapside. You can't miss it, in the area of the General Post Office. Thank you so much, Lion Rawl H.E. Gibson, Zone 3A chairperson. Good to see you as always, Rawl.
Good to see you, Tisha, and of course I'll reach out to you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Okay, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, Donald Maynard, Public Affairs Officer with the U.S. Embassy to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. He is in, and no, I'm not skateboarding, but he's going to tell us all about an initiative coming to the island. Stay with me.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hi, I am Jaheen Thomas, one of the team leaders of Project SOF. Project SOF is a very transformational program for youth who are now going into secondary school. It helps them with their team building, effective communication, decision making, and also raise awareness of drug use. For me, Project SOF definitely impacted my life, especially as a team leader. Dealing with children every day, it was for me to honestly wonder, am I making the right decisions when I approach these children? And not only that, but are they developing as well and taking in information that they're being taught? Project SOF also benefits those children, as I mentioned earlier. But one of the major things I have seen, especially from children coming out of Project SOF, is the impact that it has made on them even after the program.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back to Morning Barbados, and a good morning indeed to you. If you have to face that traffic, go on and face it with a big smile, because trust me, there's a lot of backed up traffic out there this morning. Wish we could show you what's happening. I don't know about you, but I end up, when I'm in that traffic, trying to go through all these back roads. It really doesn't end well. I don't know. Tell us what you think. Do you think going through all those back roads really get you out earlier? I don't know. I don't think it works. But if you do, you definitely should let us know. So we told you that we're going to get active as we continue, I suppose, looking toward World Health Day. This is an interesting one, though. I don't think that I would be participating, but I definitely would be a willing viewer. Donald Maynard is Public Affairs Officer with the U.S. Embassy to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. Good morning to you, Donald. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, Tisha. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so we are told there's an upcoming U.S. Embassy skateboarding program in Barbados. Tell us more about it.
Well, that's right, and we're so excited about this. You know, we at the U.S. Embassy in Barbados, we're active in so many areas of collaboration with the country and the government here, everything from helping police services and prosecutors to refine their systems, to the drainage system in Holetown that we assisted with through our USAID program. But next week, we're doing something really fun. We are bringing 2 professional American skateboarders to Barbados to run clinics with about 50 young Barbadian persons, kids, young adults. It's going to be starting on Tuesday, April 11. We're bringing Adrian Slabo and Neftali Williams, both professional skateboarders. And what they're going to be doing is running free clinics for young people on skateboarding. The idea being that this is a healthy activity. This gets young people out doing something productive, doing something fun, gets a little bit of exercise, and helps develop a community where they learn elements of fair play, learn elements of sportsmanship, and possibly, just possibly, look at a future as a professional skateboarder, because skateboarding is now an Olympic sport. In 2020 in Tokyo, there were something like 80 professional skateboarders in the Olympics, and it's going to be a sport again in 2024 in Paris, and we'd love to see a couple of Barbadians make the Olympic team.
I know we certainly have been setting the tone. You're working in collaboration with the Barbados Olympic Association. We have a few mini skate parks across the island, and the sport has definitely been picking up. But you are making an event of it, a full weekend. So there are some additional activities as well.
Sure. First of all, for young people to get involved in this, they need to register. And you can do that through the U.S. Embassy's website. It's just bb.usembassy.gov, and right there on the homepage you'll see a login where you can register for the activities. We're doing 3 workshops at the Garfield Sobers Complex in Wildley, starting again on Tuesday morning, April 11, which, by the way, that's my wedding anniversary, so I'll be celebrating my wedding anniversary as well that day.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. So we're going to be running the clinics with the kids. The important thing to remember, it's free. We bring the equipment, so we'll have skateboards, helmets, safety equipment there, so you don't need to have your own equipment. If you have your own equipment, you have your own board, bring it along. It's for everything from a novice skateboarder to a very experienced skateboarder. So we'll work with people that have never stepped on a skateboard and people that have used the Katif skate park at the Garfield Sobers Complex for years. So every ability is welcomed. People from 11 years up can register to come and participate. And another fun thing that we're going to do is on Tuesday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we're going to have a showcase at Oistins. And I'd love to see you come out there, and I think we might just get you on a skateboard if you come out to Oistins at 2 o'clock on Tuesday. I'll be there. Naftali and Adrian, our 2 pros, will be there, and a few of the participants from the workshops. It's going to be a fun time.
Well, tell you what, Donald, if you commit to coming out too, you and the wife, maybe the 3 of us, looking toward this anniversary, can absolutely get on the skateboards and do something. Talk to me about what you're looking for. You said you have to be 11 years and over to register. I'm really happy to hear that you're bringing the skateboards and the safety equipment and so on, from novice to very experienced. So, how many people are you looking to train as a part of this program over the weekend?
Right, so we can manage up to about 50 participants, and right now we have about half of that number registered, so we still have spots for about 25 more. So again, up to 50 can sign up. Beyond that, it gets a little bit challenging for the coaches. We're also going to have coaches from the Barbados Skateboard Association assisting. So there's this, we're bringing in the talent from the United States, but also some local talent is going to be helping the young people learn or improve their skateboarding. And again, it's everything from a novice to a very experienced skateboarder. And we're going to have some music. We'll have water and refreshments to make sure people don't get dehydrated. It's going to be a very, very good time.
It's very interesting to see how the view of things like skateboarding and roller skating and rollerblading and stuff have changed in Barbados. A lot of these things are dictated by cultural norms. And I know here in Barbados, a lot of parents wouldn't necessarily want their children to do things that they think they could get injured with. I know extreme sport is on a whole other level across the world, and it's wonderful that you are bringing this here so that we can catch up. Happy to hear that you also mentioned that it is an Olympic sport these days. So to encourage younger people and really expand their horizons is a wonderful thing. Let's go over how they can register and encourage that final 25 to get in, because I think by the time we wrap up this interview, you might not have any more spaces.
Well, let's hope so. That's our objective. So I'll talk a little bit more slowly, because I know I get excited about this program. So to register for the clinics, you just go to the U.S. Embassy's website, and if you forget the address that I read out, If you just search U.S. Embassy Bridgetown, you'll find it. But the address is bb.usembassy.gov for government, G-O-V. And right there on the homepage, you'll find a link to an Eventbrite page that helps you register. It's very important for the under 18s. There's going to be a page for parents to sign for permission to the younger people to participate. If you don't have that page signed on the day of the clinic, you're going to be an observer and not a participant. So we want to make sure everybody gets all the documents signed so that we can do this all in a safe environment where everything's covered. And one of the fun things, we've brought in about 25 skateboards and helmets to be used during the clinics. And some of the kids that are particularly enthusiastic participants are going to walk away with one of those skateboards at the end of the clinic.
And on the 13th, there's a movie screening. So
Yes.
skateboarding on screen as well.
That's right. We've sourced a really lovely film called Skater Girl. It's based in India, and it tells the story of a young girl in India that sort of accidentally stumbles into the sport and becomes passionate about it, even though people think it's not the right thing for her to be doing. And so we're going to be screening that on the 13th, again at the Garfield Sobers Complex.
All right. Very serious question, and you have to put on another hat now as we ask this question. Have you ever skateboarded, Donald?
That's a great question. I was a skateboarder many years ago, and when the equipment was very, very different. We'll see, I think with the help of the coaches, even an older guy like me who hasn't done this in a long time, I might give it a go. I don't think you'll see me in the bowls or the ramps or grinding on the rails, but I might have a nice gentle glide across the Oistins, the pavement at Oistins there. So it'll be fun. We'll see how much. And if you come out and get on a skateboard, I promise you I will too.
Just make sure you wear your safety equipment. I'll end it there.
Absolutely.
And who knows, I just might get on a skateboard. I'm adventurous like that.
I'm telling you, the time at Oistins will be the best time to do it because we're going to just be having some fun. We're going to have some music going on. We've got the area over where they have the road tennis. We're going to do a little bit there. And of course, where the stage is at Oistins, should be good fun. And I also want to say, since I've got a moment here, to wish everybody a happy Easter week and happy Passover celebrations and holidays, and Ramadan Mubarak for those who observe. It's a great week where we see those three monotheistic religions coming together and celebrating their festivals at the same time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Donald. Always great to hear of wonderful activities being spearheaded by our partners here at the U.S. Embassy to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. Certainly look forward to the 11th from 2 p.m., the skateboarding showcase. From April 11th to 13th, the skateboarding clinic. And then the 13th from 11 a.m., the movie screening of Skater Girl. Thank you so much. Happy anniversary and all the best for this long weekend to you and the entire team at the U.S. Embassy, Donald. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, lots to do, lots to see this weekend. You have a lot of decisions, a lot of choices to make. We're going to take a break here, and when we come back, we give you an update on the news in the CBC Morning Report. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hi, I am Jaheen Thomas, one of the team leaders of Project SOF. Project SOF is a very transformational program for youth who are now going into secondary school. It helps them with their team building, effective communication, decision making, and also raise awareness of drug use. For me, Project SOF definitely impacted my life, especially as a team leader. Dealing with children every day, it was for me to honestly wonder, am I making the right decisions when I approach these children? And not only that, but are they developing as well and taking in information that they're being taught? Project Solve also benefits those children, as I mentioned earlier. But one of the major things I have seen, especially from children coming out of Project Solve, is the impact that it has made on them even after the program. Recently, I went to one of these schools where I saw some of these students. And when they came to me, the effect, the impact that I got, because they said, Uncle Jahim, you know, and to see that that relationship still sticks with them, to see that they still remember everything, because they were like, Uncle Jahim, you come in and watch me, you come in and watch me run. That is important. And I believe that it is in those moments that it really helped us not only sustain, but safeguard our future today.
This Easter, CBC is having an Easter bonnet decorating competition where anybody, old or young, can participate. All you need is a bonnet or a hat for those who don't know, some glitter, some Easter eggs, some flowers, maybe even some chocolate. Take a photo of your finished product and send to Mornin Barbados at cbc.tv.
Polio. And Barbados had a huge part to play in the manufacturing and development of the oral polio vaccine. They did a lot of research using our very own green monkeys right here from Barbados. And we were able, with a collaborative effort, to actually totally eradicate polio, or work towards the eradication of polio worldwide.
Dr. Brooks believes the largest development for Barbados in the area of public health is the level of accessibility.
One of the huge things that we did a very, very long time in Barbados was to make healthcare accessible. And we did that by decentralizing healthcare. And that's why we started with polyclinics. So by bringing polyclinics, we took healthcare to the people. So taking healthcare away from one central area and actually bringing it out into persons' homes. As you all would know who've lived in Barbados for any number of years, we have an amazing vaccination program here on island, where instead, again, of waiting for persons who need to be vaccinated, and we started in childhood, waiting for them to actually access healthcare, the public health nurses would actually go out to the schools where the children are and actually meet them there. So tiny things like that, which seem tiny, give huge, huge positive effects to the overall health of the country.
Now, more than 380 criminal cases dating back more than 10 years are still to be heard in the island's law courts. That revelation prompted a comment from the Attorney General Dale Marshall that criminal justice reform is long overdue. He was speaking at yesterday's symposium on criminal justice in Barbados.
Despite the increase in the size of the criminal bench, the number of serious matters to be tried remain a serious concern. The statistics of matters awaiting trial received at the end of January from the Office of the DPP are instructive. Murders, 94. Manslaughter, 7. Firearm offenses, 287. Of the murder charges, the oldest relates to a homicide committed in 2007. Of the manslaughter charges, the oldest relates to a homicide committed in 2012. And of the firearms offenses, believe it or not, the oldest relates to a possession offense going back to 2003.
His position is one which Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley, who delivered the feature address to the session at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Centre, is in agreement with. She says mission transformation for Barbados cannot come about unless the country is safe, and something has to be done to clean up the court backlog.
Cannot tell me that a court can't meet longer because the reporter can't work past 12. Then come to us and deal with it. And let us make sure that you have both enough CAT reporters, or that they are rotated sufficiently, or we use artificial intelligence. What are the systems? Right now there's a system for us to look at screening for breast cancer that will offset the absence of sufficient radiologists. Nobody should have to rely. I don't know whether a judge writes longhand anymore in the criminal court, but if they do, I hope not. The bottom line is that we live in a real-time world.
The PM told members of the judiciary, police, and legal fraternity and stakeholders that nothing should be holding the system up.
Let us change and enlarge the role of magistrates with their jurisdiction to take some of the pressure off the High Court. Let us make sure that we get these 94 murders and these 297 gun cases off of our books. Judge Birch and Graves, how long you want? You understand? 2 years, 18 months? What will it take to move this backlog off?
The Prime Minister also suggested that some matters could also be dealt with within the Magistrates' Court if their powers are enhanced. A significant investment of $100 million in Boss Plus bonds by a local commercial bank is being described as a major show of confidence in the island's capital markets and the wider economy. The assessment from Central Bank Governor Dr. Kevin Greenidge as CIBC First Caribbean Bank officially acquired the bonds during a formal signing ceremony in the governor's office at the bank yesterday. The signing was attended by senior banking officials from both the Central Bank and CIBC First Caribbean International Bank.
What's on your mind is why are we having a press conference now? The Boss bonds have been around for a while. We had Boss before, now we got Boss Plus. Why this press conference? First off, we thought you can see is quite a significant purchase. $100 million is nothing to shake your finger at. And it signifies the increased level of confidence that is now within the financial sector as it relates to the government of Barbados and Barbados in general, the government of Barbados' fiscal and financial position, economic position. But also, we're using this moment to start or signify to restart our efforts to restart the capital market.
Well, that's it for our update on news. Remember, at midday, we have Newsday coming your way with a full update. You can also tune into the CBC radio services, 100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM for the CBC News World at 1.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
This Easter, CBC is having an Easter bonnet decorating competition where anybody, old or young, can participate. All you need is a bonnet or a hat for those who don't know, some glitter, some Easter eggs, some fruit.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.ve, and together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back on this Thursday. Good to have you with us here on Morning Barbados. We want to remind you that today is the final day to vote for your favorite Easter bonnet in the Morning Barbados Easter bonnet competition. I hope you've been making your bonnets. The photo will be the most, with the most likes will get 250 smackaroos. And it's also going to be featured on Morning Barbados. I'm not going to wear it, okay? But we certainly want you to get online and vote. So go to the Morning Barbados Facebook page and you get to see all the wonderful bonnets that people made, and then you can vote for your favorite bonnet so that that person can win. All right, time for us to tell you about an Education Leadership Summit. We have to welcome Tony Olton, who is founder and chairman of the Caribbean Institute for Social Emotional Learning. Good morning and welcome, Tony.
And good morning to you too. Thanks so much for having us. Good morning, Barbados.
All right. Now, we are talking about this very important leadership summit that is coming up from April 12th to 14th. And it is very important. It's going to be conducted partially by Zoom. So we are engaged. We are kind of incorporating new technology, but still experiencing some of the old. So a hybrid type of approach. Tell us about it.
Right. So it's really a social and emotional learning conference, a conference around social and emotional learning. Anyone, any adult who is involved in the development of our young people. So we're talking about educators, we're talking about scout leaders, choir masters, Sunday school teachers, any and everyone who is involved in childhood development is invited to this conference on social and emotional learning. This is our third conference. Our first two conferences treated to the what and the why of social and emotional learning. So stick a pin. Social and emotional learning is the process by which we enable young people and adults to acquire the skills of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is really a set of skills that allow us to effectively navigate the world as it is. And so social and emotional learning is that process engaged in by people like myself, by teachers, by leaders of youth groups, youth communities, etc., so as to help our young people develop these critical life skills. Skills that previously we learned what we call implicitly, meaning that you were probably raised up in an era where you had a grandmother, uncle was 2 houses over, your grandmother's best friend lived up the street. And as you watch the interaction between these adults, you learn a lot about yourself. You learn how to moderate yourself. Your grandmother probably asked you, when you did something, what were you thinking? That's an important skill of an emotionally intelligent person. That is the ability to think about their actions before they act, and only choose actions to get them their desired outcomes. Those desired outcomes, assuming that those desired outcomes are honorable, good for the person, and good for others. So social and emotional learning, this conference really seeks to equip practitioners with the awareness now as to how to integrate social and emotional learning across all systems. And by integrate, we mean how do we get all of our stakeholders, again, our teachers, our parents, our leaders in communities who are engaging young people, how do we get us all to be speaking the same language, using essentially the same tools, sending the same messages, modeling the correct behaviors, so that our children eventually become immersed in an environment that ultimately provides them with the opportunities to learn and develop these critical life skills.
Get down a little bit. You talked about engaging with practitioners. So yes. Who precisely, let's go through that, are you targeting with this particular conference? Right.
So clearly teachers, anyone involved with the school system. It could be the teacher, it could be ancillary staff, it can be the administrative staff. Anyone who comes into contact with a young person has the capacity or the opportunity to have influence in that young person's life. So if I am the president or vice president or leader of some youth group, if I'm involved in cadetting, if I'm involved in scouting, if I'm involved in guiding, if I'm involved in pathfinders, any and all opportunities where young people gather and are exposed to learning beyond teaching them our geography or music or cooking or accounting, beyond helping them with those skills, which are obviously important. How do we help them with what we now know today to be more critical for their success? That is the ability to be self-aware, the ability to be self-managed, the ability to be self-motivated, the ability to be socially aware, and the ability to engage others in meaningful relationship building. Because everything that we know, all the research is telling us that in today's world, those skills are critically more important than any academic or technical skill that we may possess. And social and emotional learning then is about how do we help our young people to acquire and develop these critical life skills. So teachers.
Sure. How does this all fall, Tony? Just quickly, how does this all fall into the whole idea of things like soft skills, or what people might refer to as street smarts, things of that nature, so that we understand exactly where we're going with it? And the second part to that, what might be the fallout that we're seeing in society that might be noticeable to adults or practitioners who are working with young people if they truly don't understand or try to impart this social and emotional learning?
So let's straight to the second question first. The evidence is all around us. Teachers are spending too much of their time in class discipline. We have the evidence of the increase in violence, the increase in murders. We just heard the news clip. The use of guns, the disrespect that is abroad in our society. The evidence is very, very all around us, very, very clear that we are sadly lacking. Too many of us are lacking in the capacity to have meaningful relationships with ourselves, first of all, and then have meaningful relationships and effective relationships, productive relationships with the people with whom we share time and space. So the evidence is all around us. This significant deficiency in these critical, I call these critical life skills. You call them soft skills. Everything that we know tells us that soft skills is a misnomer, because these skills aren't soft. If they were soft, they'd be very easily acquired. These skills require discipline. This requires self-discipline. They require intentionality. They require us to be constantly in the moment, noticing what is happening when things happen, when people say, when people do, when we get certain news, certain information, and we have these emotional responses. How do I center myself? So let's say that I'm a teacher and a student turns up, and in my own language I describe that student as rude, disrespectful. How do I quickly center myself so that I can become effective in responding to this child in a way that gets to the root of the issue? How do I look past the behavior and try to understand what is informing this behavior by way of this child's experience, by way of the emotion that is really fueling this behavior? How do I center myself so that I can be effective in creating a teachable moment for that child, so that they learn about themselves, so that they learn about the opportunity for self-control and the opportunity to choose a behavior other than the one that their emotion, the path that emotion might be leading them down. So these skills that we describe as soft skills really aren't that soft at all.
Well, I can see exactly what you're saying, and I'm thoroughly intrigued. So talk to me about how we can register to be a part of this program.
Sure. So you can visit our website, www.cisel.org, CISEL.org. If you go to our website, the link is there. It takes you to the page where there's a full disclosure in terms of the program, as well as the opportunity to two things. One, to register for this year's conference. And we've also put all of the video content from last year's conference we make available to you, so that if you're coming into this experience without that prior knowledge about social emotional learning, you can look back at last year's conference, get your fill of that. So when you join us next week, you have a significant launch pad to meaningfully engage in next week's experience.
All right. Well, this certainly has been enlightening, if only to kind of stir in our thoughts, what we see and how it relates to maybe, I love that you started by showing how people would have learned before. And I suppose because of how society has changed, there's some disconnect with the intergenerational and certainly intragenerational learning. So, that seems to be a contributing factor as well. I certainly hope all the people you need come out to be a part of this program.
Sure. Thank you most kindly. Thanks for having us.
All right, thank you so much. Tony Olton is founder and chairman of Caribbean Institute for Social Emotional Learning. I think we definitely have to check in on that some more and delve in. What he says makes perfect sense to me. I don't know. What do you think? All right, definitely very, very interesting. Again, CISL is hosting this free summit. It's April 12th to 14th, and it will be in person at Queen's College School as well as online via Zoom. But you have to make sure that you register. Remember, registration can be done at www.cisel.org. Make sure you go check that out. And he mentioned the people who interact with young people and so on, who should definitely be a part of that. Well, we have so much more coming your way here on Morning Barbados as the clock ticks away. It's Holy Week, and we have Universal Church of the Kingdom of God coming up next with a very strong message you don't want to miss. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Maxback Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
Hi, I am Jaheen Thomas, one of the team leaders of Project SOF. Project SOF is a very transformational program for youth who are now going into secondary school. It helps them with their team building, effective communication, decision making, and also raise awareness of drug use. For me, Project SOF definitely impacted my life, especially as a team leader. Dealing with children every day, it was for me to honestly wonder, am I making the right decisions when I approach these children? And not only that, but are they developing as well and taking in information that they're being taught? Project SOF also benefits those children, as I mentioned earlier. But one of the major things I have seen, especially from children coming out of Project SOF, is the impact that it has made on them even after the program. Recently, I went to one of these schools where I saw some of these students. And when they came to me, the effect, the impact that I got, because they said, Uncle Jaheen, and to see that relationship still sticks with them, to see that they still remember everything, because they were like, Uncle Jaheen, you come in and watch me, run. That is important. And I believe that it is in those moments that it really helped us not only sustain, but safeguard our future today.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture.
Send us out and move in with this woman, and they left me with 3 kids. At that moment, I feel like the whole world in for me. I didn't want to live no more. I took a leave from work. That day, I was done with divorce. Final divorce was changed and everything. I went home, I cooked my kids a dinner, and I decided that was my last dinner that I was gonna cook. I wanted to kill I decided I'm gonna kill myself. I make sure the kids had food. I make sure the house was paid for. I make sure they know where to find everything. So that day, I get up. I got up that day. I took the first couple of pills and I drank. It was a little personal bottle of vodka. I drank that whole bottle. And I said, there ain't no reason why I need to be here.
When I was about 11 years old, I started having suicidal thoughts. I didn't know where these thoughts were coming from or why they started to happen, but I just remember being so sad and empty that I wrote a letter to my mother. And I explained to her in the letter that I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't see the reason to live. I just wanted to fall asleep and disappear.
So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand.
I told my mom, bring me to church. I got so tired of the problems. I got so tired of the depression. I challenged God, telling God, you know what? If you're real, if you're truly real, because I've never had a full conversation with you, I don't know who you are, but if you change my life, I'll never leave your presence ever again. It was something amazing. I was happy, and today there's no addictions. I have no cravings for no drugs. I can sleep well at night. I'm happy. Like, there's a happiness within me that is uncomparable to anything.
That Friday I walked into Universal was my breakthrough of transformation. Because that night when I left, I slept without drinking. I took myself, I took my job, I took my children, I took my marriage, and I took my past, and I left them all at that altar. And when I did all of that, and this is when I received that Holy Spirit, and I started living the life that I want to live. There's a joy, there's a happiness, and there's a moment. And every morning I wake up, I just wake up and all I can say, thank you, God, for giving me this one more day.
Today I'm a completely different person. I don't have depression. I'm happy. I'm a person that's fulfilled completely. Everything I set my mind to, I accomplish it. I have that strength, that courage, and God made me to be someone who's fulfilled in everything that I do.
Testimony, Pastor Samuel, and you said you're going to tell us all about a special service that's coming up tomorrow at your church.
Definitely. Just like you guys could be able to watch this testimony, that's what's going to happen. Those who are watching us right now, you are suffering, you are feeling depressed. If you think sometimes to kill yourself, you have suicidal thoughts, you need help, tomorrow I'm going to waiting for you. We're going to have a special service at 9 o'clock in the morning. Our church is located at Baxter Road, the opposite of Kensington Road. Those who know what is the Jordan supermarket, it's much easier so that you can know where we are located. We are just next door. And not only tomorrow on Good Friday, but the Universal Church open every single day. And we have a services time at 7 o'clock in the morning, at 10 o'clock in the morning, 12 p.m., 3 p.m., and also our main service at 5 p.m. to help all those who want to put an end in all the suffering in their lives.
Well, thank you so much for coming in at this time. Usually when we have long weekends, even though it's an Easter weekend and a very strong Christian weekend, well, actually, you know, in other religions too, they have massive celebrations around this time. When we have weekends like this and long weekends, you know, it's that time for people to really get in their heads and think about all the things that might be going wrong as well. So we definitely thank you for coming through and encouraging people to come out tomorrow at 9 a.m. to that special service to your church on Baxter's Road, and it starts at 9 in the morning.
Exactly, 9 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter if they go into church or not. If they are suffering and they want to put an end of that suffering, that's going to be the best opportunity. Jesus gave his life on the cross so that we can be free. That's why it's not fair. Those who are watching us right now and they are suffering, they are in need of help so that they can stay at home. It's a great opportunity so that they can put an end into this addiction, into this depression, suicidal thoughts, any problem that they are going through. We also have a promo of 1 minute that is talking about of what we are going to do tomorrow. If you allow me to show this promo, please.
All right. Well, I will thank you. We can wrap here and we're going to end on that promo that you talked about. Blessed, holy rest of the Holy Week. And thank you so much for sharing on Morning Barbados.
I appreciate for that. God bless you and all those team that is. It was a wonderful time. God bless you.
And you. All right, well, thank you.
As he went through pain in his crucifixion, Jesus was thirsty. And they gave him vinegar to deepen his suffering. But what was meant to cause pain became the greatest thing to ever happen in this world. His victory over all evil. How many bad things have happened to you? The signs of evil are all around you. But regardless of how badly things have been going for you, this evil shall be turned into blessings. Friday, the 7th of April, will be the day of victory in your life. On Good Friday of the spiritual battle, with the distribution of the vinegar, consecrated in the Holy Land, with the main service at 9 a.m.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational.
You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Because you love English Premier League, MCTV has got it back. Now you can watch all the games of the English Premier League plus UEFA and NFL on MCTV. Current customers can upgrade to Max Pack Extra at just $23. Call MCTV today at 228-6288 to upgrade or come in and sign up for a new service. Football fans, let MCTV get you back in the game.
Hi, I am Jaheen Thomas, one of the team leaders of Project SOF. Project SOF is a very transformational program for youth who are now going into secondary school. It helps them with their team building, effective communication, decision making, and also raise awareness of drug use. For me, Project SOF definitely impacted my life, especially as a team leader. Dealing with children every day, it was for me to honestly wonder, am I making the right decisions when I approach these children? And not only that, but are they developing as well and taking in information that they're being taught? Project SOF also benefits those children, as I mentioned earlier. But one of the major things I have seen, especially from children coming out of Project SOF, is the impact that it has made on them even after the program. Recently, I went to one of these schools where I saw some of these students. And when they came to me, the effect, the impact that I got, because they said, Uncle Jaheen, and to see that relationship still sticks with them, to see that they still remember everything, because they were like, Uncle Jaheen, you come in and watch me? You come in and watch me run? That is important. And I believe that it is in those moments that it really helped us not only sustain, but safeguard our future today.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000.
It's heard about it and why you decided to get involved.
Sure. So a teacher at St. Winifred's, Carolyn Ford, she mentioned it to me and asked if I would take on the project. So I said sure, especially since late last year I was in Blackman's Gully with a hike, and I was I was just shocked at how much garbage was in that gully. So when she told me, I was like, okay, great. Let's see if we can clean up a gully. So that's kind of how it started.
Wow, and I'm told that you had a record number of volunteers this time around. So qualify that for us, and then we're going to talk to Peter about how he got involved.
Yes, we had over 1,200 volunteers this year, well over 1,200. And so I was quite amazed and a bit shocked when I saw the numbers of registrations growing and growing and growing, and I thought they would level out, but they didn't. They just kept going up. And I think that we had a lot of help, particularly from our 3 project assistants. We had Amber Hoyt calling and emailing the schools. And we also had Scott Chandler doing social media, including Instagram, which I was never very good at, but he was very helpful in that respect. So. And also Abigail Sandiford helped us to get the resources that we needed lined up. So we had a good team this year.
That's excellent. And speaking of a good team, Peter, I'm told you did pretty well. Boast for us a little bit.
Well, we luckily had the assistance of a grab truck from Scrapman, so that did help us quite a lot to improve our numbers. But the gully was very, very bad, and it still remains bad. We didn't get everything, unfortunately. We need to go back. So if you don't mind, I'll just put a little plug that the government really needs to step up. Cleaning up is good, but it is not the solution. They need to be more proactive, and the political will does not seem to be there, unfortunately.
Interesting. I remember growing up in a Barbados where, we were so cognizant of what was happening in our environment, and the Keep Barbados Clean campaigns were constantly in our faces. People were very, very proud of how we treated our environment. And I definitely see how things have deteriorated over the years. So it really needs to be a whole of island approach, not just the political directorate or not just volunteers like yourself, but certainly civil society as well as government and other organizations who are in the market for that, others who might be on the peripheral. So it really needs to be an effort that we all make to keep our environment clean, particularly because this is what we rely on to live, if we put it that way. All right, so back to you now, Anne. Looking at all the positives coming out, I am told that volunteers cleaned up 46,608 pounds of rubbish from Barbados landscape. That is no easy feat. Talk to us about how everything unfolded.
Well, I think I'm just so proud of the people that came out this year and the group leaders. 71% of our 42 group leaders this year were first timers.
Wow.
So that was interesting, because before it was always the same group leaders coming out year after year, and to have new people become involved. I think it shows that there is a growing movement towards social intolerance to this bad behavior. Tisha, it's not just illegal, it's lethal. You're talking about this, and Peter was saying that they weren't able to clean everything. We had another volunteer, Neil Hutchinson, leading a group in another illegal dump site. He said he was sad for the first time, and he's been participating in all the 14 events. And he said that they could only scratch the surface with what they found there in Lemon Arbor. And if you look at the map, it's only meters away from Sweet Vale pumping station, and the Bell is another place. Yeah, there you see it. The Bell Gully is another place that I've heard is so dirty that hikers don't even try to go through there anymore. And this is a major source of our drinking water. So people, you've got to think about what you're doing to your drinking water when you dump in a gully. It's lethal, really it is.
Happy to hear that you mentioned, the hikers, because once you go out in hikes, you do see what's happening in the gullies around Barbados. And like you said, all of this will feed into our drinking system because of how porous Barbados is. So, it's a fantastic initiative, but as you mentioned, it is indeed a continuous thing. It can't be a one-off happening. We have to continue to clean up. Some of the winners for the biggest cleanup awards and groups from Store All, Adopt to Stop, that was led by Peter Bino. Again, cheers for Peter just because he's here. St. Winifred's, led by Carolyn Ford. We have to give you cheers to Brenda because you're here. And then they removed 7,180 kilograms of rubbish from Blackman's Gully, a site Peter also cleaned in 2020. Peter, take us on the ground. What was it like? I see here that there was mention of needing more garbage bags, more gloves. What was it like? Because if we're talking about people doing illegal dumping and just throwing any and everything out, I would imagine it's bulk waste. It's not just, wrappers as we would think, or plastic. So talk us through what it takes to be able to clean up that area.
Well, 2020 was primarily appliances that we moved, but this time around it wasn't. It was a lot of household garbage, tires, toilets, dead animals. It was just nasty. Really, really disgusting. And That's what's going into our water system.
Wow. Brenda, what about you? Tell us about the experience with you and your group.
Yeah, pretty much what Peter said. It was mainly, I mean, even like carpets and curtains and household garbage for sure. I think for our group, we had a lot of interest because So Many Firds has a program, a volunteer program, where they get points and it helps. It has students keen to get these points. And I think that's really important in empowering our young people to do stuff for our country and not only focus on themselves, but to see, to do more community work. So I think like UE and Community College has started a volunteer program, but they need to enforce it so that these students become more community minded, and then in looking for programs to volunteer, maybe they'll clean up somewhere. So it's not only, as you said, for the politicians to do something, but it's also to make our public more aware of that it's a domino effect. What we do affects other people.
And your last please for people to get on board. I know, it's a continuous thing for you, and it really is a labor of love. So thank you, all of you who were part of the cleanup. Tell us how, wider society can get involved.
Anybody can clean up anywhere, anytime, Tisha, and it's not that hard. One person can just take out a bag, put on their gloves, and if you're by yourself, you want a bucket because it's hard to hold the bag open for yourself, but it's just something we all have to do, and I think the more people do it, I really appreciate it. I'm so proud of all these volunteers that came out. They are real heroes, and they set a great example. So I'm sure that they all enjoyed the beautiful view when they finished, and I hope they do it again.
Thank you so much, Anne Harding, Brenda Begg, Peter Bino, the stars of the show this morning. Congratulations, and thank you for spearheading cleaning up our environment. You and the close to 1,500 volunteers who are part of this particular project. And I love what you said, Anne. Anybody can clean up. Anybody
Anywhere,
can clean up,
anytime.
just a reminder, just get a bucket, even basic things. Start with immediately around you, and then, get the people, in your immediate environs, the people in your groups, the people at your schools, your families. Make it an activity and clean
Have
up
you got
all around
time?
us.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I've been talking to some business owners because there's a thing that marketers call a revulsion factor. And if businesses realize that there's rubbish around their business, that is actually, whether they realize it or not, what you call a revulsion factor. And I've been talking to some business owners, and I'm seeing them get out and clean up around their businesses, broadening their scope. So it's great.
All right. So thank you again. Thank you. And make sure you come on back and tell us more about all the great work you're doing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And blessed weekend to you all. Definitely great to see people coming out as leaders, as just regular Barbadians, and playing a role in cleaning up our society. So make sure you clean up around you. As much as we say that we're proud of being Barbadian, we have to make sure that we keep our environments clean. Can you remember all of those PSAs that used to run on CBC TV back in the day? Yeah, maybe I'll find some of them and play them for you at another time. Okay, so the time is quickly winding down, but we have a little game to play with you. I want to remind you to head to the Facebook page. So that you can get a chance to vote for those Easter bonnets. All right, it's your final day to vote, and then of course we will announce the winner a little bit later. We're going to take a break and come on back here on Morning Barbados. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so at this time of year, one of the things that people want to get out and do is fly a kite. I know recently there's been legislation about whether it's loud and all that, but I grew up at a time where everybody wanted a kite. If at Easter you did not have a kite, even if it was one of those crazy little bat kites, if you didn't have a kite and you were a child, you weren't happy at all. And there are a lot of big children who like to fly kites too. So after seeing that video of Shane yesterday trying to up a kite, I was like, come on. And of course, the rest of the team who are usually behind the scenes, they said, okay, let's get on this and show Shane how it's done. So led by an ably so producer, Nadia Foster, she enlisted Michael Sobers and Roel Ford. I was along just for a little direction. Sometimes people need direction. So I was giving good instruction. And we took to the CBC car park to try to up this kite to put Shane to shame. Let's see how it turned out. I must say, guys, y'all take really good direction. Yep. And as a good director for this project, I came with all the tools we needed: coffee, a cell phone, and men that can up a kite.
Alright, Tisha's going in. Hey, hey, hey! Let's go.
And Shane, that is how it is done. And that was not a second or a third take. That was on the first go. Roa put that kite in the air with Sobers.
Listen. According to you,
listen, you are breaking up for more reasons than one. I know that you can't handle that. You couldn't even up a kite. It looks like you're heading to the gym. So you do that. You do that well. Let us handle the kite. The experts. All right. So what we also discovered is Shane was trying to up the kite in the wrong direction. So he didn't have the wind in the sails. Oh, that was absolutely some fun. We had to divert traffic. They thought we were crazy, but we had a really good time getting those kites up. So make sure you grab the kites for the little ones today. Give them an opportunity to get outside and have a good time. Now, today is the last day to vote for your favorite Easter bonnet on the Morning Barbados Facebook page as well. The photo with the most likes will win $250. That's right. And be featured on Morning Barbados Live. Sponsored by Skate Life Barbados, Super Style Shoe Shop, Morning Barbados, and CBC celebrating 60. These are some of the hats that you can see on display on the Facebook page. As you can see, very, very creative and depicting all about Barbados, Easter, and a whole lot more. I just saw the Tweedside Road Junction there on a hat. I think I saw Harrison's Cave. There was one depicting the beach. So definitely a lot at stake. Make sure you get online and vote. Just go to our Facebook page and vote for the hat you like best. And we're going to have that winner here with us. These are some gorgeous hats. Definitely a lot of creativity, a lot of effort would have gone into making them as beautiful as they are. So show them your love and support and make sure you vote for them. Hey, singers or artists ages 18 to 35 years of age, any genre, you're invited to submit videos by today to www. Is that Rich Carey Eep? Something like that. It's RICHESKARAYIB.com for a chance to be flown to Martinique to meet and network with top industry executives as well as other winners from other islands. So make sure you go and sign up, and it's open to artists, singers ages 18 to 35, and you can be performing any genre at all. Great opportunity, so make sure you go check that out. Now, the Spiritually Aware Group Inc. is hosting a worship event on April 8th from 2:30 in the afternoon to 6:30 in the evening at Trevor's Way by the Rocks. And they were on yesterday. They're inviting you to put on your white and come out and celebrate with them. It really is all forms of expression when it comes to worship, and I think it will be a phenomenal evening, so check that out. The NCF presents the Barbados National Youth Symphony Orchestra in concert at Easter Sunday, April 9th at the National Botanical Gardens at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that again is absolutely free. Joyful, Joyful is the name, and it features a host of young people. Like I mentioned, the Barbados National Youth Symphony Orchestra, the youngest member is 7 years old, and a whole lot more, so get on out and support. And finally, Paris Hill Kite Flyers presents annual kite flying event at Andrew's Sugar Factory, St. Joseph on Monday, April 10th from 11 a.m. to midnight. 2 massive kites, kids zone, popular DJs, afternoon karaoke, and live performances. So you have lots to see and lots to do, and do have a blessed weekend. We will be back with you on Tuesday, but we have phenomenal programming all throughout this blessed holy weekend here on CBC TV8. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to wear your smile. On behalf of the entire crew, have a blessed weekend. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.